throw. Were you talking to coach at all on the sidelines about perhaps spiking it, or what was the decision there?
We just knew we didn't have any timeouts, and we had to get the ball down the field quick to get either in field goal range or a touchdown. And on the last call, we, just try to send guys down the field, and I try to throw it to an area where my guys could adjust and potentially make a play on the ball. Obviously it didn't happen, but just in that situation, it's difficult. So we gotta go out there and do our best to make a play.
Coach said on the one before he thought you maybe thought you could get to the sideline. Is that was the thinking on when you got the sack, that you could get the guy heading to the sideline?
I was just trying to get the ball out of my hands to where my receiver could either make a play or, the incomplete pass to stop the clock. That's just, that's what we're taught in those type of situations is, completions to get out of bounds or incomplete passes.
How difficult is this one, and how do you guys moving forward? How do you put this 0-3 behind you?
I mean, it's very hard right now. We did a great job this week in practice. I felt like coming off of the Houston loss, we were right back in here the next day working hard. I was so proud of the team, the way we bounced back and focused in practice and worked our butts off every day. And this one hurts. Hats go off to Clemson. They're a great team. Wish them the best of luck in the future. But we got to put these 3 losses behind us and move forward. It's a long season, and right now we're 0-1 in the ACC, and I'm sure there's been plenty of teams make it to the ACC championship with just 1 loss in the conference. So we got to just keep trucking along and understand that there's still an opportunity for us to have a successful season.
What needs to happen to get the rushing game going?
We just got to get, I guess, experience with the O-line. We're young guys, and once they get a feel of the offense and they're able to communicate and work together as a unit, then that's when we're going to get our running game going. I was proud of them tonight. They fought their butts off. They gave me time and, gave the running lane for opportunity for the running backs to run the ball. So we just got to keep moving forward week in and week out.
Kyle, you're one of the older guys, one of the team leaders, but you got a lot of young kids on the team, 4 freshman receivers, redshirt freshman, offensive lineman, true freshman. What do you say to them to keep their spirits up in the locker room or in practice this week?
It's just more just making sure they stay focused. Young guys, they understand how important this is. They understand what it takes to be successful. But the maturity level is just, make sure you're locked in 24/7. There's no time for you to mess around or not pay attention or miss a rep in practice, make mistakes. So it's just nailing that hammer to make sure that they're staying focused. But, I'm really proud of the young guys. They stepped in here. They're, putting a big role, and they're coming along great.
How would you evaluate your performance? What do you think? Your own?
Honestly, I don't know. I felt like I made plays when I needed to. There's a couple mistakes here and there that I wish I could take back. Obviously we didn't win, so I could have played better in that aspect. But as, statistics, I don't really even know.
Is it encouraging to know that you've come within a play or two of 2 top 10 teams now?
Yeah, I mean, a loss is a loss, no matter how much you lose by. But on the flip side, we've taken 2 losses by 3 points to 2 great teams. And even Houston's a great team. I know they don't get the respect they deserve, but, that's 3 great teams that, we've unfortunately taken a loss to. But we just got to understand that, right there, we're a couple plays away from it being a W on the schedule.
What gives you confidence that this team can bounce back from an 0-3 start?
Just being around these guys for so long, understand what they want and what they are willing to sacrifice to get to that point. I understand that it hurts right now, but I've got full confidence that we're going to bounce back and we're going to finish the season strong.
Last one for Kyle. Just to clarify, Kyle, when you got the sack or whatever, was there ever a sign over from the sideline, spike, or anything like that, or they said go, or what was it?
No, we were just trying to get a playoff. We felt like that we'd get a playoff, and then potentially, if it was complete, spike the ball or get out of bounds, and we just had trouble getting back to the line and making a call. So, looking back, we'll take a look at the film and see what we can do to improve in that situation.
All right, Kyle.